see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I just kept the name like Applied Astrology. Okay, basically I just want to make completely practical knowledge, right? So before we go there, okay, I just go through our total course syllabus. I don't know whether I've shared this with you, maybe shared, may not be, I don't remember, but just I'll go through the fundamentals of astrology, right? What is astronomy, universe, astrology, zodiac signs, 12 signs, karakatva, elliptical cycle, then 9 planets, 9 grahas, panchabhutas, 12 houses. I will teach you like these different methods, right? North Indian, South Indian, Western styles, okay? Then on the 12 houses significance, okay, grahas, lordships, and different types of astrologies, just a very high level, right? Then casting of horoscope. Nowadays, everything is in software. We don't have to spend much time on this. Okay, then how to read the horoscope, then Bhava chart or Chalit chart in North India they call, and the Dasha systems, okay, then the transit or Gochar, right, that one, and the stellar Nadi method, the one what we are going to learn primarily use, okay. This is the method we will be focusing on, stellar Nadi astrology. This is the one like complete predictions we will be using, okay. And then I'll give an introduction on DNA astrology. It's a new concept. Maybe it's old, but whatever. I will tell you what is DNA astrology, how to make a predictions based on using that as well. Then we will go to the specific things: education, career, marriage, childbirth, properties, vehicles, assets, litigation, right? Traveling, then again, long-term, short-term, work visa, right? Business visa, green card, citizenship, all that. Then the medical astrology, longevity, how to calculate the longevity for a person. Then for marriage, horoscope matching, and remedies, right? What remedies we can do to solve the problem or prepare ourselves like that. And then Prashna or horary astrology, right? So people come and all sorts of random questions. They may not have their chart. This Prashna is again a big thing. Then I will teach you various methods. Traditional method, traditional itself, I'll teach 2 methods. And then in the stellar Nadi, how to do it. Stellar Nadi is very, very accurate. Okay. Yeah, I will tell you this also is good, where I will, during this chapter session, I will tell you where the traditional method has limitations and how the stellar Nadi method we can overcome that. Then the birth time rectification. We all know 90% of the time, the birth time what we got is not accurate. So we need to fix that. It will be sometimes few minutes, sometimes it will be few hours. So how to do that? Right. And then the muhurat, right? For various things. That also we will cover. Yeah. So that is the syllabus. Okay. Is it all is good? I mean, is it covering what you are expecting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right, good. Okay, so now let us see Jyothisha, right? Before going to Jyothisha, like from you, I mean, you have any background or knowledge on astrology, Jyothisha? If you know, what do you know? How much you know? If you can share.
So I'm answer here. So I only know the basics, not even the basics, I would say. So I whatever internet research that I do, and I have a relative who actually knows a little bit of astrology. So they showed me how the Kundli chart is, and what position of planets, and which house, which nakshatra. All of those simple things I have an idea about, but okay. I have no other clue about astrology, and I want to learn further. Okay. So that's the reason why I joined this course.
Okay, right, cool, good. Now, Valli?
Actually, I know little bit how to calculate Lagna. I'm aware about it, sir.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That's very good actually. Yeah.
Other than that, I by seeing our personal horoscope itself, I can able to catch up few things.
Okay.
What Mercury does. If Mercury is strong, for an example, for me, Mercury is very strong. That's the reason I'm in accounts position, it seems. So by only through YouTube, sir.
Okay.
By learning by listening the predictions, I understand few things. That's
okay. Okay, that's
same
good.
like YouTube videos, basically.
Yeah. So in fact, I would say nowadays, right, this generation are very, very lucky, right? You have YouTube and you have internet, it's very easy to learn. In those days when I used to learn, no YouTube, right? Only books. You have to buy books and then read. That's all. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So in your words, can you tell what is Jyotisha?
So, I mean, if you ask me, I think Jyothisha is more of a science where you have. So I have done a course on astronomy.
Okay.
So I am like well versed with astronomy in a scientific sense.
Okay.
So what I think is it's just that at the time that you're born, there are certain positions of planets in the sky, like for example, like moon is in this particular constellation, and that gets mapped onto your chart. And through that you can make some predictions saying, okay, this is how your behavior is going to be based on these planets in whichever positions they are in the sky.
Right.
So there's definitely a link between astrology and astronomy. With respect to how true the predictions are and everything, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But in terms of what I know, it's a science, it's a mathematical science where you do a lot of calculations.
Right. Good. It's a very, very good, right? So that's what I have. So what is astronomy, right? So astronomy is basically all the planets, the celestial bodies in our universe, and they are all revolving around sun, right? So that is astronomy. So basically astronomy, what they do, you study these planets, these stars, right? What it is, what is the mass, how it is rotating, all that, all right? That's it. So then what is astrology or Jyotisha, right? So Jyotisha is the Sanskrit word. Jyotisha is basically study of light. So there in our Sanskrit, we call it as a light. So we use that light, study of light using these planets. The same light, but which is coming, if it is coming from every planet, because every planet has its own energy and that light differs, right? So that is what. So in simple terms, what I say is astrology is basically astronomy plus logic. So in astronomy, you do the physical things. Okay, moon rotates around Earth. That's it, right? And then, Amavasya comes, Paurnami comes, and all that, same thing, Saturn, Jupiter, all that. But there is no logic. Here, the logic, what I mean by logic is you are trying to predict what the influence of those planets on our human being. Okay. So those planets, those celestial bodies, which are in our universe, have some influence on human beings. So study of that influence on human bodies, on our human lives is astrology, right? So every person is different. So every person who's born on the same day will look different, will be different. Physically itself will be different. Then the mental characteristics, there can be similarities, but they won't be the same, right? So that is what I mean by logic is you are applying some influence and we are trying to find out what is that influence, how that influence is coming from, and how to interpret that influence, how to read that influence. Okay. So basically how it started is our Jyotisha, right? First, it was started by sage Bhrigu Maharshi. He wrote it, right? And then it was further advanced by sage Parashara. That is what widely used. I would say 95% of astrologers use Parashara method. That is the book Brihat Parashara Horoshastra. Okay, if you don't have this book, there are various translations available in all the languages: English, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Marathi, Gujarati, Hindi, every language, right? So whatever language you are comfortable with, I would strongly recommend buying and then read this book over a period of time. It's not like, so basically the English version itself is 2 volumes. So we should know the basics. We should know that, it's always helpful. Okay. And then I just use Ramayana as a proof for how old is astrology, right? This Jyotisha Shastra, right? So basically in Ramayana we have so many references in Valmiki Ramayana. The Lord Ram's horoscope is there in the Valmiki Ramayana. Okay, and then all the important critical events, when Sita was abducted, when Hanuman visited Sri Lanka, when the war started between Rama and Ravan, all those dates and planetary positions are referenced in Ramayana itself, right? And then, so we can, based on our Yuga calculations, we can easily say it's like a minimum 1.7 million years old, this astrology. Okay. So this is a tree, on our Hindu religious scriptures. So basically our scriptures, right, they are broadly categorized into 2, Shruti and Smruti. Shruti means it is taught only based on voice, no document. So people, the guru will teach based on oral thing only. So all these Vedas, Upavedas, everything is Shruti based. So there is nothing documented. Okay. Then Smruti it is kind of something written in terms of in shlokas, right? So that is why you all have that. Under that bifurcation, Vedangana is one aspect. Under Vedangana, Jyotisha is here, right? So the moment we are studying or learning about astrology, this Jyotisha itself means we are special. That is, not everybody can understand this. It is very secret and divine science and divine subject. The moment we are here means we are something special. We have some unique skills which other people do not have. That is why we are here. Okay. So, and one more thing I forgot to tell is to improve our to learn the subject better. And when you start doing consultations or whatever, whether it's up to you, whether you want to do professional commercial consultation or your friends, family, relatives, whatever it is, right? So when we are doing consultation, we want our reading to be good, accurate, and all. To improve that skill, I would recommend you daily minimum you do like a small japam, or meditation like that. You sit in a northeast corner of your house, basically east, east, northeast, or north. Any of these in between, right? So north and east is here like this, right? Okay, so in between, anywhere you sit, you can, whatever God you believe in, you can chant the mantra, right? Or if nothing is there, you can just chant Om Namah Shivaya or Om, that's fine. Right? But make sure you do that over a period of time. Your skill in this field, it will improve a lot. You will understand, and whatever you say, it will be very good and very accurate. Okay. Start trying this. Please start. You can start doing that. Okay. So now let us see the different types. Okay. So I told you, right, the Bhrigu Maharshi wrote the first one. So that is called Bhrigunadi. Okay. And then Parashari, the method. Under Parashari, there is another method called Lal Kitab. It's basically a red book, people say. It's literally a red book. Somebody wrote it in a red book. And there are a lot of slokas and a lot of references, predictions, and remedies and all. So a lot of people use Lal Kitab remedies also. Okay, so that is there. And there is another Rishi called Jaimini, and he also has advanced furthermore after Parashari, Parashara Maharshi. Okay, and then so this Nadi astrology is kind of coming from Brigu Nadi and then made some changes, right? So there are a lot of Nadi astrology. So there is Brigu Nadi, Brigunandi Nadi, Naga Nadi, Chandrakala Nadi. Like that. There are a lot of Nadi astrology methods are there. Okay, and then in the modern world, so we have stellar astrology. So in the stellar astrology, the popular method is Krishnamurti Paddhati, KP system. That is what, like, I would say, I told you, right, 95% Parashara method they use. I would say remaining 3 to 4% people use KP method. KP method is quite popular and it evolved in the last 40, 50 years. It is a very good system. Okay. Under KP method, again, there are a lot of people who learned from KP, Mr. Krishnamurti, direct disciples. Then later on, disciple, they made some changes. They came up with their own other sub-methods. One is KP Kullar, Kasper interlinks, and the other one is KB Bhaskara interlinks. KB Bhaskara is again now getting popularized in Tamil Nadu. Both are similar. Okay, so Kullar Kaspal interlinks and Bhaskara interlinks, the rules are same. So I'm not quite sure who came up first, but the rules are quite similar. Okay, that is one. And then Gurumurti Paddhati, and he is a direct disciple of Mr. Krishnamurti. So he is a direct disciple. He lives in Chennai. So GMP method works pretty well in Prashna astrology, horary astrology. And then he claims, I got an opportunity to meet him once in, there was an international conference in US. So I went to attend that conference just for him only, to attend his session. So his Prashna method is very good. And he claims he can even predict the winning horse in the horse race. You know horse race, right? How much speculative thing. And then he claims, he made people win a horse races based on that. Nice. Then stellar Nadi method, that is what our whole entire course is based on. Okay, and that is part of stellar astrology. Then we have this DNA astrology. And then now if you come out of India, then we have Greek astrology, then Western astrology. Europeans, Americans, they all use this Western astrology. And you have Chinese astrology. So from outside, people think astrology is one, but if you come inside, there are so many things, right? And there is another, now everybody, a lot of people have their own, right? Say in Tamil Nadu nowadays, there is another one popular person, he called GK. Yeah, right. Maybe Valli, you have heard about him. Do you know?
Much, sir. No.
No? Okay. He is from Tirupur. There are a lot of his students are there, and he has come up with his own thing called Chandranadi astrology. Okay, like that. So there are so many methods. If you keep on reading, it's like very vast. But at some point, we have to just limit ourselves so that we don't get confused, right? When we have a chart, at the end of the day, what it matters is people will come. Okay, when will I get job? Whether we want to answer this or not, if you look at it, the actual Jyotisha Shastra should not be used for answer these kind of questions. But unfortunately, we are in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is all Maya, materialistic world, and people want to know answers of these type of questions only, right? So when we say I'm an astrologer, you put a board and then have an office or a website or whatever, they pay money, they ask this question, and we are bound to answer, give a satisfactory answer to them, right? People will come, okay, when will I have a child? Right? That is the most very sensitive thing, right? So we have to tell them when is they could have, or when is the possibility, right? Based or not. So, okay. So far, any questions or anything else you guys want to add?
Just curious about the other, like out of India methods of astrology. Are there any similarities between them and the Indian Vedic?
Yeah. Of course, there are similarities.
Okay.
Yeah. Same. See, Greek people say one day I went to in LA. There was one. What is it called? I forgot the name. That telescope thing is there.
Palomar Observatory.
Yeah. Some observatory was there, and there was a show. Okay, right? Right here, everything there, it's all commercialized, marketed. They will have one video and all that. Observatory. There was that open theater was there. You go inside. All that. So there they were saying that astrology was first invented by Greek people in 2000 years ago, like that. I got so much furious. I wanted to write to them, how can you say that? So then I said, forget it. It's no point in talking to them, like that. So it is, of course, it has all moved. There's like 90% similarities. Okay. There are only minor difference. I will tell you, like, especially in Western astrology, I will tell you what is the difference when we have the codes. Okay.
I think you're referring to Griffith Observatory. That's the one.
Griffith, yes, exactly. Griffith. That's the one. Correct. Griffith Observatory. Yeah, that's the one. So, then in Western astrology, yeah, it is the same thing, right? So 9 planets we consider, and what 9 other planets they consider, but again, same 12 rasis only, right? So now they say Pluto is not a planet anymore. The astronomy world says, right? A lot of people came and asked me, okay, Prasad, Pluto they're saying that it's not a planet. How is your astrology thing? And I said, I never considered Pluto for my astrological predictions, right? So then we will cover that. Yeah, definitely we will do that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other question or observations?
It's clear, sir. So far, it's clear.
Okay. So basically, right? So the 12 rashis, right? So I've given the Rasi name in our, in our Telugu, Tamil, or whatever Sanskrit, and then the English name equivalent. So Mesham, Aries, right? To Meenam, Pisces. So the universe is 360 degrees. So 360 degrees is divided by 30 degrees for 12 signs. Okay. For mathematical purposes, we said it is equal. In reality, it is not exactly 30 degrees. It is like sometimes some signs are a little bit longer. But for all practical purposes, we are all like throughout the world is agreed. Okay, it is 30 degrees each sign. Okay, so that is the thing.
In Western, I think astronomy, there is something they call Ophiuchus constellation, which is like the 13th constellation.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So, but in astrology, we are not considering that.
We're not considering. Got it.
We are not considering. See, that constellation they found what in pretty recently, right? 5 or 6 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So not more than that. So that time, the lot of people were asking, "Oh, what happens to all your astrological calculations, all this and all, right?" So there's nothing going to change. No, we are not considering that. Yeah, we are not considering that. Okay. So, and this is the, the zodiac in a circular fashion, right? So Aries, Taurus, Gemini, all this, and each sign. And Manasa, you asked the signs also same, our Hindu and the Western, everything, the shape.
Got it.
Aries is a goat, right? Taurus is this one. Everything is same.
Got it.
Okay. Okay, right. So now, first thing is, right, in English, we say planet, but in Sanskrit, we say graha. Okay. So in Tamil, we say graham, Telugu graham, and in Kannada also, I think it is the same thing, right? What do you say? Graha?
Graha, basically.
Graha, right? So graha. So graha is not equal to planet. Okay. So graha means a body which can observe. Okay. And then do. So the planet is more like an astronomical, it's an equivalent English word, but it is not. Okay. So ideally, we should be using only graha, not planet, in all our language. But we are using it, these things. So what are all those planets, right? So Surya, Ravi, Sun, right? So I've given like other names also. In Sanskrit, sometimes we call it as Surya and sometimes we call it as Ravi. Both are same, right? Chandra is moon. Mangal, right? Hindi, Sanskrit called Mangal. Chavai in Tamil, Telugu people Kuja, they say, and English it is Mars, right? Buddha is same thing across all. Buddha and Mercury. And Brihaspati, Guru, and Jupiter, all are same. Shukra and Venus, all are same, right? Shani, Saturn. So now, these are all the primary 7 planets, grahas we consider. If you look at astronomy, astronomically, people say moon is not a planet. It is a satellite, right? Surya is not a planet. It is a star, right? So, but according to our astrology, Jyothisha, we are all considering they are all as a grahas, okay? Because Surya emits the light. The whole universe is based on sun's light, right? So again, Jyotisha is study of light, right? How that sunlight energy is transformed into differently when it passes through these grahas, right? So in that, there are 2 grahas, we call it as Chaya graha. Chaya graha means shadow, right? Chaya means shadow. They don't exist, okay? So that is Rahu and Ketu. In English, in Western, they call it as north node, south node, or ascending node, or descending node. All are same, okay? We call it as Rahu, they call it as ascending node, north node, okay, and south node. Then we have these 3 planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. In Jyotish Shastra, even though they identified these planets, they did not take into account. Why? So basically, let me give you an example. Pluto, for a Pluto to complete one orbit, one elliptical cycle, it takes 246 years. So nobody in human lifetime will see one revolution of Pluto.
Right.
Even if he lives 120 years, right? And again, we are talking about light, Jyotisha, right? So it is so far away. Okay, I don't have it right now handy. I will share it in the next class. Okay, it takes, okay, 1 minute. Let me. I should have included that in this. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, so it takes how many days it will take sunlight to reach that.
8 minutes, I think.
No, it's more than that.
More than that?
1 minute. That's why I wanted to give the exact numbers. Okay. Yeah, let me share this screen. Okay, I got it. Okay, are you able to see in my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So basically, or I'll make it bigger, right? So if you take, so Saturn, see here, Saturn, it takes 79 minutes for the sunlight to reach Saturn. Okay. So these are all the minutes, how many minutes it takes sunlight to reach. Okay. So Earth, right? For Earth itself, it takes 8 minutes for the sunlight to reach. So if you look at here, Uranus, it takes 159 minutes and the total revolution time is 84 years. And Neptune, 4.1 hours and 164 years. And Pluto, it takes like 5.5 hours, right? And 248 years for one revolution. So here, what we are trying to say is, sun emits that light, it goes to that planet, and that reflection comes back to us. Okay, so that is why, like, I mean, we will deal with much deeper when we go to those specific specific topics, right? So that light has to travel that far, and the reflection comes to us, right? So it takes time. So what we are doing, say, for example, now say I'm wearing this gemstone, we are wearing this gemstone. So what it does, that gemstones is mimicking, right? Instead of light coming from, say, this is ruby, or, say somebody is wearing a yellow sapphire, okay? So the light is going to Jupiter and coming back, and whatever effect you get, that effect you will get by wearing that planet's gemstone. So the sunlight directly is falling on us, and then that's why we say you wear it in an open setting, then those gemstones will pass that energy, will create that energy, like how it is coming from Jupiter, right? So it takes so much time, then by the time you have any effect of those planets, it's too late, right? It is too slow. So the influence will be very less. So what we are doing, right, in astrology, like I was telling, that we are trying to find out the influence of those planets on human being, right? So when these planets are so far, the influence on us is very minimal or negligible. Pluto and all is very, very negligible. Okay. But even though a lot of astrologers, modern astrologers, I would say like last 30-40 years, they started considering these 3 planets, because these three planets are widely used in Western astrology. Okay, they are using it, including my guru I learned from, Mr. Umang Teneja. He also uses Pluto sometimes in predicting accidents and all that, but I'm not using it. I'm just sticking to these 7 planets and 2 Chaya Grahas, to shadow Rahu Ketu. I'm getting good results here itself. Okay. So that is why, like, I just kept it like little below. Any questions? Is it clear?
It's clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we saw, right? I know Manasa knows much more in astronomy now. Okay. So we have sun, and all these planets are revolving around sun. So this is called heliocentric model. Okay. But in astrology, what we are doing is we are looking at geocentric solar system. That means for us, Earth is the center point, and then we look all other planets from Earth's point of view. That is why we say sun is moving. In reality, sun is not moving. Sun is there only. Earth is only moving. Say if sun is moving, say from Sagittarius to Capricorn, right, Dhanushu to Makara, all right, it is not that. It is opposite. Earth is moving from Gemini to Kataka. That is why you see the sun is moving from here. It's on the opposite side, right?
Right.
So for us, it is geocentric solar system. That is what we consider for astrology. Okay. Is it clear?
So you
clear.
said based on the distance, because Pluto is very far away, the effect is very negligible.
Correct.
So does that mean like Moon has the maximum effect?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Moon has the maximum effect.
All right. Okay. So based
Moon,
on distance here also we're looking at what has the maximum and
correct. 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 So I mean, we will talk more in when we are doing the Prashna astrology, Prashna Kundali, right? How the effect. So Moon is a fast moving planet, right? How that Moon plays a critical role in Prashna.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, right, all the planets move in an anti-clockwise direction. If you look at the astronomy, planets move in an anti-clockwise only. Okay, but in astrology, we consider it as a clockwise and then plotted. Okay, but in reality, planets go in anti-clockwise. Okay, so then I have told you about this Rahu and Ketu. Basically, Rahu is Rahu, according to our Hindu Puranas, right? So Rahu is the snake, and then the head is cut off when that Amruta was taken from that milk, that sea, right? And then when distributing it, this Rahu, Ketu, this person will cheat and then drink it, right? Then the head is cut off, right? So that head became Rahu and the body became Ketu. That is the story. But in astronomically wise, what it is basically when the Earth, when the Sun is rotating, basically again we are talking about geocentric model, right? So Sun is orbiting around Earth, and Moon is also orbiting around Earth. So the difference between these elliptical cycle, the angle is 5 degrees, the maximum. So at some point, the Sun and the Moon path coincides, okay, meets. So when it happens on the north side, that is why we in astronomy in the Western world they call it as north node. When it happens on the south side, then it is called as south node. So this picture is little off. Basically, here it should have been Rahu, here it should have been Ketu, but you understand the concept, right? Okay, so on the north side meeting point is Rahu, south side meeting point is Ketu. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now I will show you the North Indian style and South Indian style of thing. So this is a North Indian. Okay. Let me first finish the South and then we'll come to. So this is the South Indian style, right? So always the South Indian style is called as fixed zodiac. So that means these signs are all fixed. Okay, they don't move. If you see anybody's horoscope, anybody's chart, say for example, if the moon is here, right, that means it is Vrishabha sign, right? Vrishabha sign, moon is here. That is fixed. Our lagna point only will be changing. So here the lagna is Mesha lagna. If somebody says, I am born, 1 minute. Okay, say somebody says, I'm born in Leo lagna. So then this will become, our ascendant will be here. And then from here, we will count. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, right? 4, 5. All right, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 8, 9, 10. And this is 12, like that. So we will be moving the ascendant, all right, based on the time of birth. Okay. When it comes to North Indian style, the North Indian style is called as moving zodiac. That means in their chart, this place is always lagna. Okay. So if somebody is born in Mesha lagna, so then here they will write as 1. Okay, say somebody is say born in a Leo Lagna, then they will write as 5 here. Okay, and the count is anti-clockwise. This is first house, second house, third house, 4, 5, 6, like that. So if it is Leo Lagna, right, 5, 6, 7, so this is 8, 9, 10, so this is 11, 12, 1, 2, okay, then 3, 4. So you see here, so Lagna is Leo Lagna, right? And the 4th house is the Scorpio sign, okay? That is Vrishchika, right? And then 7th house is 11, that is Aquarius, it's here, right? And then 10th house is Vrishabha, right? It is here, right? Sign 2. So it will be like that. And 12th house is Cancer sign. It is so basically it's only the representation. The content-wise, everything will be same. Okay, I'll show you with example in the next chart. So here it is counting from anti-clockwise. If somebody says, okay, if you have a planet in 6th house and 8th house, this will be the result. Let us assume that. So in North Indian style, when you do, you don't have to count where is Lagna, where to count. You can straight away look at this house and look at this house. If somebody is asking about profession, you can straight away look at this house. What planets are sitting there like that. But when it comes to South Indian style, then okay, where is the Lagna? First, you have to identify the Lagna, and this from Lagna, you calculate, oh, this is the 10th house here. It is just only a practice, that's all. Only the representation, how you are counting. But all the planets, placement, everything is same. There's no difference at all. Okay. Any questions?
No.
No? Okay. So this is what, right? Clockwise direction. Okay. See here. This is an example. So now let us, since you are familiar, so this is South Indian style, but this is the ascendant. Ascendant is, this is Vrishchika sign, okay, 8th sign. So, and then this is house number 1, 2, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is 8th house, 9, 10, this is 11. I'm just writing whatever planets are here, okay. See here, so this is Lagna, right? So Lagna will be always here. And this is second house. These are all fixed. Only the planet's position based on the sign. So in North Indian style, you have to look at this number to know what is the Lagna sign. So in South Indian, you just see where it is written as AS or ASC, and then these are all the signs, right? So that's all. Any questions? Any doubts here?
No.
No? Okay. Okay. So now we saw the representation, right? And for every sign, there is a lordship assigned. So the lordship is basically those planets are the owners of those signs. Okay. And every planet, 7 planets, Rahu Ketu doesn't have a house, but even though Parashara Maharshi and others also have said, some astrologers use it, some astrologers do not. Okay. But widely, they are not being used. Okay. So that's why I just ignored it, but I will tell you. So here, with this lordship, each planet has 2 signs, except Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon have only 1 sign. All other planets own two signs. Okay. Yeah, it may be easy. So this is Mesha Rasi, right? 1, sign number 1. So Mesha and Vrishchika, right? Scorpio. Aries and Scorpio owned by Mars. Then Vrishabha and Tula owned by Venus. Then Gemini and Virgo owned by Mercury. Kataka, Leo owned by, and Kataka is by sun, moon, and Leo by sun. The remaining, okay. So Sagittarius, Dhanushu, and Pisces, Meena by Jupiter. Okay. And Scorpio, Makara, and Kumbha, Aquarius, owned by Saturn. So this here I've just given in table, and this is I've given here. Okay. So you have to memorize this. This is very, very fundamental. But over a period of time, you will automatically memorize. You will remember. Do you know until now, or you have?
I didn't know.
First time I'm looking.
Yeah.
We didn't know.
Any tactics to remember this?
A very tactics to remember. Okay, let me tell you. See, you both are. So Manasa, you are familiar with South Indian style or North Indian? You want which
South
one is
Indian is like something I've kind of familiar. Better.
familiar? Okay, so basically, right? How I memorized, I will tell you. Guru, Kuja, Sukra, Buddha. Okay. Guru is Jupiter, Kuja is Mars, Shukra, Buddha. Shukra is Venus, Buddha. You put those four, you put the same four on bottom also.
Okay.
Right? Same thing. Whatever four here, same four here. Okay.
Right.
So here, Moon, Sun on right side, and here left, both Saturn.
Both Saturn. Okay.
This is one method.
Yeah.
Easy method. Okay. Another one, another trick I will tell you. It is a little bit mathematics. So again, to know astrology, right? We all need to would have or would have good math skills. Okay. So Mercury has to be strong on our horoscopes. Otherwise, we will not be here. Right? Okay. See here, you go with signs. 1, 8. Add this, you will get 9. So 1, 8 for Mars, 2, 7 for Venus, 3 and 6 Mercury. Okay. 4, 5 you leave it. You just give to Moon and Sun. Okay. 9 and 12. You give 9 and 12 to Jupiter. The balance 10 and 11, you give it to Saturn. So you add 1, 8, 1, 8, 2, 7, 3, 6.
Got it.
Right? Then that's another way of remembering. See, I told you, right? So when I started attending class of from Mr. Umang Taneja, he explains only in North Indian style. He doesn't know South Indian style. Okay. So I had to learn that North Indian way, and they all go by that science only, right? So I had to memorize like this. So how many classes you will try to translate in both? It becomes hard, right? So that's how so these are the two methods I used to memorize.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I think let us stop here for today. I think it will become too much.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions so far? Anything?
Will we get this PPT, sir?
Oh, PPT. Yeah, I'm still working on it, Vali. I will be sharing this recording, right? You can take it from there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So every session, right, I will create a Google Drive, and then you WhatsApp me your email IDs. Okay. I will give permissions to that drive.
Okay.
Okay. So then that way I will be posting these recorded videos after the session, like, like I'll try my best to do it immediately as soon as possible. or maybe 1 or 2 days maximum. Don't. I will not take more than that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Right. 1 minute. Let me stop the record.